When we talk about reaching the heights of American and Canadian and Major League Soccer, it starts here. The end product is the World Cup. The end product is MLS Cups, but it begins here. Man, oh man, does this kid live up to the hype.
A second cross floated in Serrano! Seattle Sounders with the goal!
These 15-year-olds, these 16 and 17-year-olds, to go through tournaments like this, the adversity they face, because every single one of these players has the ability to play for your first team. Remember this when your first team lifts MLS Cups in the future.
Welcome everybody to the 2022 edition of the Generation Adidas Cup, the premier youth championships in North America. And we have come to the most exciting part of the tournament, the knockout stages, as we begin the round of 16 here in Frisco, Texas. Welcome everybody, I'm David Goss, alongside me, former professional and FC Dallas player, Bobby Warshaw. And Bobby, this is our favorite week of the year. We've been here, we're midway through at this point. What has stood out to you?
Yeah, the best part, David, is watching these young people with their lives in front of them and all the hype and potential around them live up to it. We've seen the stars, the players we were told about coming into this tournament perform, step up for their team, score big goals, get big results. I'm excited to see more of that from the top players today.
And let's take a look at where they're trying to go, which is our bracket. We are into the round of 16. We will have 4 games streaming for you here from Field 4. We've had 4 other games going on that we'll keep you updated with as they come along. You take a look at Inter Miami and Atlanta United trying to move on and face off against the winner of Celtic and Colorado Rapids. And let's start with our starting lineups. And for Inter Miami, take a look at this group, Bobby. They won all 3 games in the group stage.
They did, and we expect this to look like a 4-3-3 in attack, shift to a 4-4-2, especially if they're pressing defensively. And I'm excited to look in the midfield. Number 6, Kramaski and Fafi. Can they get on the ball? Can they control the game for their team?
And on the flip side for Atlanta United, the firepower is real. This is a star-studded young team.
Especially at left winger, Jonathan Vial, number 44. We expect him on the left side in a 4-3-3. Big talents for both of these teams, David.
David Goss, Bobby Warshaw with you here as the wind gusts through. The sun is shining, and what a day we have. 4 U17 knockout games on the docket for you as we get started with our opening half. Inter Miami, they're all white kits going left to right on your, and they're all black kits going right to left on your monitors. And Atlanta United, and they're all white kits going left to right on your screens. We have a third partner in our crew, and Kelly Glendenning down on the sideline, who we'll talk to later on as this game goes along. Knockouts here, round of 16. We are still playing 60-minute games. So 30-minute halves, 7 substitutes available to these coaching staffs. And if we end in a tie, of course, we head straight to penalty kicks to move us into the next round. You can hear the gusts of wind coming through this field. And Bobby, bizarrely, it's coming from right to left in this game for the first time all week. So it's coming from behind that Inter Miami goal into the face of the Atlanta United defender.
100 games of GA Cup we must have done over the years, David. I don't think we've ever seen this wind. Is that an ominous or an exciting start to the day?
We're in Australia now. The toilet bowl's flushing in the opposite direction as Atlanta United looks to build out of the back and knock it over the top. I mentioned 7 substitutes available for this team. We will go through a lot of these individual players, but Bobby, right off the back, the head coach of Inter Miami, the legend himself, Javier Morales, forced into a move in warm-ups, losing his international center back.
And Hall is so important to this team. Right center back for this Inter Miami group. Also a starter for the under-17 U.S. men's national team. Picked up a knock in warm-up, as you mentioned, and they had to sub in. But in comes Kise, who started yesterday, did well on a shutout against AS Roma. But one of the themes of this tournament, David, every year is not just the development for the players, but also for these young coaches. Javier Morales, one of the best players in league history, now taking the next step of his career into coaching. And just like the players, this is one of the more high-pressure situations he will have to experience already. Before the game even starts, he has a big decision to make.
Javier Morales, his son, playing for the U15s at a high level and has been a star performer in this group who will be moving up. But for this Inter Miami team, this first class as an academy, Atlanta United knows a lot about that. They brought through that first year the Goslins, the Carltons, and then obviously George Bello and Inter Miami now. They're trying to build their program.
And the first class makes a statement for what is to come. First of all, when it comes to international tournaments, nobody knows how good your next age group is. It's only the reputation of your brand. If you look at the clubs here, a Manchester United, a Valencia, they get invited because the world knows how good they are at producing players. And that's what this group has to set the stage for Inter Miami, for the perpetuity of the organization, and second, for the value of their players. We talked to FC Dallas sporting director Andre Zanota today, who mentioned that FC Dallas is creating that reputation in the world market for producing players who can compete at the highest levels. And these young people for Inter Miami have a chance to do the same and make a mark for what Miami can be on the world stage.
We are here on the MLS YouTube page as well as on Twitch, and we are in the Twitch chat along with you. So bring us all your questions, all your comments as well. For I404C Murda, the question, why is Celtic in the same bracket as Atlanta United? It's based off standings. So the top 10, there was 10 groups. All the top teams are seeded 1 through 10 based off points, wins, goal differential, and the like. And then the 6 best second place teams, Atlanta United being one of them, moved into this knockout round. And the bracket is based purely off the standings 1 through 16. There was no organization of where a team ended up in said bracket.
And we saw drama to end the group stage yesterday. Goals coming in left and right at the final whistles. PKs, in which case the winner of the penalty gets an extra point, deciding who made it through, hoping to see similar today.
Competition was so tight. Teams were selected based off disciplinary yellow cards and red cards because everything was even all across the board. So these teams competing at a high level.
That's why your teams never been out of the group as a youth player, David.
100%. Trust me, this tournament, 3 yellow cards means a suspension. If it happens before the semifinals, you can't be suspended on yellow card accumulation for the semifinals. If I didn't have a yellow card in the game, I'd pick one up because what was it was a waste to play a game like that as Inter Miami now jumps into the attack. These two teams played about a month and a half ago in league play. It was a 3-2 win for Inter Miami, two Southeast rivals. And Bobby, you mentioned you don't know about future classes. What you know about a club is what's happened. We're also talking about the hearts of players. Can you be the winner and have players in the Southeast region say, I want to go to Inter Miami or I want to go to Atlanta's Academy?
One thing we hear from everyone around this Generation Adidas Cup is the pressure that it brings for the clubs, for the coaches, and the players. It is the closest these players get to replicating the expectations and the stakes of the professional atmosphere. When you sign that pro contract, you have your and other livelihoods on the line. And here in these knockout phases, they get a taste of that. It's not the same thing as the pros. Nobody wants it to be the same thing as the pros, but it's their ability to get a taste of it so that when they have it for the first time as professional players, it doesn't come as a shell shock on that stage.
Obi Thomas to play this one in. Cross coming in from Thomas, hit low, cleared away. Atlanta will try and push their lines up now. Battle on the sideline, the ball does go out. Christopher M. Paquet on Twitch says, I support Inter Miami from Scotland. So good afternoon to you. Don't think I know any of the U17 Miami players. Who are some of the stars to watch out for? We already mentioned Tyler Hall, the starting center back normally for this team, is one of the captains of the US U17s. He picked up an injury in the warm-ups. It's a free kick now in favor of Inter Miami, but some other stars that are still in this team.
All 3 center midfielders in this group are players to watch. Comfortable on the ball, competitive, up for the fight. Converse at the base of the diamond. In front of him, Fafi and Kramaski. And David, watching this team yesterday, I was very impressed with number 9, Brian Destin. Makes contact early. He's a handful, brings his teammates into it. And keep an eye for number 10, Kobe Thomas, to run off and provide the pace into the depth behind.
We've seen the danger of Thomas so far in this game. Destin growing as this tournament's gone along into the starting lineup as well for this Inter Miami team. You mentioned Benjamin Kremashki.
And here we see the free kick, David. The wind at their back. Atlanta taking a deeper line, which for me is risky. If you can whip this ball into the goal, there will be traffic. The line just 7 yards off. There will be players in front of goal if they can get into the goal mount.
Thomas standing over this one. Ball played in and it goes just wide.
And it was there. The captain, Faithy, on the spot, just needs a touch. Doesn't get it. At Miami with the first warning shot here, the set piece with the wind, just a bit too much, out for the goal kick.
First opportunity of the game falling there for this Inter Miami team. So Inter Miami, the wind's at their back, applying the pressure early on here in this first half of this knockout Generation Adidas Cup game. And an opportunity again for Miami. And the ball cut out well by Brick. Who Brick, one of the many players who have already played with the USL side for this Atlanta team, as the foul will go there against Kremashki. So Atlanta United, Bobby, coming out against the run of play here early on. How do they settle in there?
Whenever you start the game at this tournament, David, playing against the wind, we see teams struggle, because what it means is that the opposition, when they have the wind at their back, can squeeze the field as much as possible. Here, Inter Miami have their back four effectively on midfield line, making about 25 yards front to back, but Atlanta does it. Well done. So many teams have struggled in this circumstance. They break the line, they create danger, and now they've got the overload on the right side.
Opportunity to attack. And it's Brennan at that through ball came to. Throwing coming. Atlanta tries to create a little danger in the box, and the shot just over the crossbar. Brennan with his left foot putting it on the laces.
We love throw-in chaos, and that's what we saw here. The ball dropped into the box. Players competing for it. Uncertainty. Nobody takes charge from Inter Miami. Next thing you know, you've got to look 12 yards from goal. Good contact. Just gets under it. Out for the goal kick.
Now, Miami's chance to build out of the back. They blasted it long from Kaminsky. Ball down for Atlanta United. Atlanta United, of course, much more senior now at the academy level than what we're seeing from Inter Miami. Number of graduates, 4 homegrowns right now on the roster at the first team level. We saw Caleb Wiley's goal, what George Campbell has done out of the academy. We've got Noah Cobb starting at right center back for Atlanta on a USL contract that will elevate up to a homegrown deal in 2023. As now Atlanta breaks through, and Brennan right on the top of the box, another big opportunity.
It falls to you like that, and your heart rate rises. It's what any player could ask for, and he just gets a bit too excited. You can see the length of the swing all the way back, all the way forward. A little too much action through the leg and the body weight. Misses contact. But 2 big opportunities here from Atlanta United making their way back into the game.
It's been a good tournament for Luke Brennan. He had a goal in the win at FC Cincinnati in the group stage. A dangerous pass back there. Kaminsky switching the point of pressure. And now Miami trying to build out of the back, and the foul will go against Inter Miami, or for Inter Miami. Tranquilo. Miles Berkovich is the one who was fouled along that right side.
Kaminsky's so calm back there. The ball comes into his chest. He brings it down. He pings the ball.
He's a footballer. Come on, he's wearing a pink shirt, but that doesn't mean he didn't come to play. He's part of Inter Miami. You gotta love what you've seen from these goalkeepers. You saw Emi Ochoa from San Jose already on a homegrown deal, pinging balls to the 2 wings. You see really the development of goalkeepers. We were sitting with Chris Seitz watching some games, watching some good young goalkeepers in this tournament. This ball played through. and knocked back. I want to say shout out to James Fraga, who complimenting me, of all people, on my live updates from the field as group stage came to a close. I did my Anderson Cooper thing out there amongst the action as Atlanta almost breaks through. And Christopher Robel here says, who are some of the stars on the Atlanta United team to watch out for as Inter Miami flows forward into the attack? We'll get to that one in just a moment. Ball played across. They'll go out for a goal kick.
I can't believe you just called yourself Anderson.
I said I did my Anderson Cooper impersonation or something like that. You gotta listen to what I say, bro. Come on, lock in. So for stars for Atlanta United, we talked about Noah Cobb, the right center back. He's already playing at USL. He will be on a homegrown contract. Who else should people watch out for?
Well, if you're going to ask me, you know my answer is always going to look in the middle of the field. I'm excited about number 62, Pavel Romero, the player to help this Atlanta United team unlock the other group, smart on the ball, clean in the middle of the field. The more he can get on it and drive the game forward, it's a good sign for Atlanta United.
Romero had the other goal against FC Cincinnati with Luke Brennan. Another name that stands out that's familiar to people, Alan Carlton, the younger brother of the first homegrown signing in Atlanta United history, Andrew Carlton. Alan, now that second generation, he's been in the academy since he was 11 years old, coming up through the stages. He's already been a part of their USL team, making his debut about a month ago against Hartford. Kamashki into the feet there of Thomas. And now Inter Miami getting into the attack once again. Opportunity to cross from deep. They'll rotate it back out. Thomas trying to take on a couple defenders and has it knocked away. This has felt like a knockout game. The energy, the intensity, it's been there since the start. So see Thomas trying to break into the box there. Converse with the header straight up in the air. And Atlanta United forward there. And Smith knocking it out. United starting to find their feet in this one. As I mentioned, they were one of the best second-place teams. Watching all the results as they went along, playing early in the day yesterday, and then playing that waiting game, which can be so brutal. The group with Celtic and FC Cincinnati, as well as the New England Revolution. They get the ball back into possession. Abadia Reda trying to get it forward to a teammate. And now they are able to start the attack. His pass is intercepted.
David, what we've seen on 3 occasions now are that Inter Miami were clearly instructed come into this game to try and find the other side of the field as often as possible. Atlanta United would want to try and pin them to one side, get as many numbers to that side as possible. And when that happens, the weak side ball, sometimes even when you can play it blind without looking, is open. We've seen a free kick, and now 2 switches played early. It hasn't worked out. And for me, Inter Miami, need to adjust that. Get on the ball, connect short passes, and play through the lines instead of trying to hit the blind switch.
Destin knocks it back out. Space to cross here. Cleared away by Cobb. For Miami, keep it into the attack. A blind pass there. Somehow Converse able to get it under control. Now, to Miami back into the attack. Thomas coming in field. Swings it to the far side. Dropped back into the midfield. Right, stepping forward into the attack. Just a little too far for Perkovic.
But there we saw the contrast on the attacking ideas. Instead of trying to create space through the big switch, get on the ball, connect these 7-8 yard passes, play through the lines. Maybe it brings Atlanta United closer, so then you could still play out the other side under more control, or you go forward on your own. So many technical players in this Inter Miami group that they have an advantage if they can keep the ball on the ground in tight control.
So that one played the two brick. Be a throw in here for Inter Miami. You look there on Twitch. How's the weather today and how does the pitch feel? Gusting winds once again, somewhere between 25 and 45 miles per hour. As I said, this time coming from right to left on your screen. The temperature is perfect though, Bobby, for this game. It's sunny, but it feels cooler than it's felt all week. There was rain last night, and the field looks to be running pretty clean.
Is one of your key preparation points coming to Generation B's Cup every year the weather and meteorology course?
Yeah, obviously. Now a chance for these players to break. Brennan down the right side. Looking for the clip ball to the far post. Taken down. Close down by defenders. Atlanta United continues to fight, but what a ball from Brennan.
The texture on that ball. You know what it reminds you of? Not the same quality, and this is inside the foot, but the ball from Luka Modric in Champions League yesterday. The little curl, the little arc in behind the back line.
Ball knocked away. Quote, you heard it here first. Bobby Warshaw, quote, Luke Brennan is the next Luka Modric.
Love that. Picks up his head, sees the space, the early ball, forcing Inter Miami to face their own goal, and a good run from Smith to that back post. A tough one to control. And overall, a nice attack from Atlanta.
Berkovic trying to get into the box. So he was Boatwright charging forward there. Knocked away. Now, Chamaski trying to reset the attack. Boatwright pushes it wide. Berkovic now trying to go 1v2. And the shot comes in from the top of the box and they'll bounce all the way through for a goal kick.
Smart early ball there, though. We see it the top level of world football all the time. Those deft balls from the corner of the 18 in behind the opposing defense, off into the back post.
United, Bobby, 2/3 of the way through this first half, finding their feet, starting to find success in this one. Miami strides forward. Oh, it's a little too hard from PSA. PSA, a big responsibility in this game as Brennan makes the knock from behind with that loss of Tyler Hall in the warm-ups.
And you have to appreciate Atlanta United's willingness to play through the lines on the ground. Against the wind, getting pressed, being brave. And David, coming into this game, we weren't fully sure what to expect of Atlanta United because so often you want the youth teams to look like the first team, but there has been turnover at the first team level in the head coaching position for Atlanta United over the previous years, that person, the head coach, has not been able to instill their ideas all the way through the club. And now with Gonzalo Pineda just about a year in, we weren't sure if his methodology would seep into the younger ages, but it appears to. Similar movement, similar ideas. You can already see it starting to take hold through the club.
Atlanta United, they've been aggressive, pushing players through their ranks already. It has paid off for them at the first team level. Their ability to win as well as to sell players, to fill in starting positions. This class looking to be the next of them. Berkovic now comes forward. Maskey with the big switch of the field, knocked down in the box, but into the safe hands in the end of Jansen in goal. Atlanta United against Inter Miami, Southeast MLS rivals at the U17 level. Our opening of 4 round of 16 streams today here on the MLS YouTube page as well as on Twitch. Shout out to all of you in the Twitch chat. Some great combos going on already. Question about the Columbus Crew U17s who have moved on, and they will face the winner of this if they win themselves against Celtic. Really like what I've seen from that Crew team as the wind blows that ball over the end line. We appreciate you all out there on Twitch. James Fraga, who is the favorite MLS team left now that San Jose and LAFC are eliminated? You've clearly been listening to us. We've been raving about those two teams as well as Austin FC, all 3 of them eliminated. So, Bobby, who are you really keyed on from an MLS side?
Surprise results on the final day of the group stage. those teams getting knocked out. We talked about Charlotte earlier, their first time at GA Cup at the under-17 level. They win their group, but for David coming into this knockout stage, I was keeping my eye on this Inter Miami team. 3 for 3, 9 points, defeated AS Roma in the final group stage. They've looked comfortable, they've looked calm, they've looked good on the ball, exciting. So this was my team to watch.
I'll say our third stream, Charlotte FC, who you mentioned, and NYCFC. They've got a homegrown in their ranks, Christian McFarland. They've got 5 players in this group that trained in preseason with the first team. They are a really fun side to watch.
Here we see the corner kick coming in. Intense win right now, gusting at goal. If they can find a way to use this win on the trajectory of the ball as players attack the back post.
Thomas puts that one on the back post. Kromashki puts it back into the box. The ball fought after, and then the whistle goes. It was Jansen who went up high for that one and got the call.
It's a consistent trend at this tournament. As the days go on, the coaches, the players figure out how to use the win. The first 2 days at GA Cup, there are usually some ugly set pieces because these are circumstances that they don't often see. But by day 3, day 4, they figure out how it can factor into their set pieces. They put the new ideas on the whiteboard. They rehearse them, and we start to see it become a crucial part of the results.
These players at the U17 level, but you'll notice, I'm showing you on the broadcast, you'll hear in the background, players from these clubs at other age groups here to cheer their teams on. Atlanta United has their U15s, and with Dallas Cup going on as well at the same time, some clubs have the U13 to U23 levels players here. We've also seen, Bobby, some big pieces of these clubs here monitoring this. We've seen some of the chief soccer officers in Pat Onstead, Ernst Tanner, Chris Leach, Mark Nichols, some of the people who have a ton of influence over these young players that are out here watching.
It's a statement of how much these academies and these young players matter to their team, that they're going to spend their incredibly valuable time, the chief soccer officers, to come out and watch the 15 and 16-year-olds, but it also means so much to the players. We saw one instance of a team winning a penalty shootout, and here, along with the trainer and the assistant coach, is the chief soccer officer of your organization, the one deciding the $10 million transfers, giving you a high five and congratulating you for that result.
And it also shows how close these players are, closer than ever before. A lot of these players on this field training already at a first team level or at a second team level, making debuts in USL and MLS Mexico. Driven ball to the far post. Brennan trying to get his foot around it, keeps it in. And now he'll get it under control. Options around him. He goes for the back heel for Okinola. Trying to link up with Carlton. Kromashki going to do work defensively in the corner. A good battle between him and Brennan. And it will be a goal kick in the end for Inter Miami.
David, as we look at this cross again, I love the pass selection here from the left back. Gonzalez, so many options from that spot. Do you just whip it in? Do you curl it behind the defenders? Here he opts for the driven ball at the far post, and it was the right one. Brennan was there. It's a matter of inches between Atlanta United to get on the score sheet. Great pass selection from Gonzalez to set it up.
Now Inter Miami under pressure, trying to play out of the back. Pressure on Twitch here from Candy Dish, who says, will current/future teams invest more into their academies due to the visibility of the GA Cup? We spoke about this with Mark Nichols, who was the academy director for Seattle Sounders, now the technical director, so the number 2 at the Columbus Crew. And he said in 2019, we brought players like Danny Leyva and Josh Atencio, who had already been training at a first team level, because it meant something to us to win this competition. And now you see a player like Joe Scally play in this tournament, never appear in MLS, and get sold for a multi-million-dollar deal to the Bundesliga.
What I heard in that question is that the voice, David Goss, is changing budget lines, moving mountains.
Ball knocked in. Thomas goes down in the box. A no call coming from our head official, Jorge Escobar. And Carlton can't keep that one in play. It really is incredible, though, when you look at the players that just played in World Cup qualifying to get the U.S., Canada, and Mexico there. A number of them made their debuts. They became known on this field here at Toyota Soccer Center. Boatwright with the cross. Cleared away by Cobb.
A final thought on that too, David, is that one thing we both appreciate about Major League Soccer right now is the differentiation in sporting strategies. That not every club needs to approach how they win games and how they run their organization in the same way. One team might want to spend on an in-prime designated player. Another team might want to spend that $2 million of discretionary money on their academy or on experienced domestic players. How you approach winning is up to you, and it's always compelling at this event to hear how different clubs approach that side of their organization.
And then, once you spend that money, how you do it. RSL built in a residency. They bring players from all over. Other clubs, everyone is local, and they live at home, and they come and train. And there is no right or wrong answer. It's what works. But what it's really exciting to see is the amount of clubs who are starting to put their finger on the pulse of what works for them. All knocked around as we enter the dying minutes of this first half. 30-minute halves for a 60-minute game here at the GA Cup. When we move up to the stadium for the final, we will expand it to 70-minute games. But for now, these players still tight intensity of a 60-minute game. And every little second matters and every goal shifts what we saw the groups entirely from moment to moment. It's been a fun one so far here between Atlanta United and Inter Miami. And we've got 3 more coming. Boat right now strides forward. Can he make the difference late in this first half? He's not able to keep that one in as he runs into the boards.
As we head to halftime, we said coming into this game that Inter Miami were not just one of the favorites in this game, but for the rest of the competition. But if you're Atlanta United, you need to feel the better of the two teams. You might not have had the majority of the ball, but you've created better chances. You've kept Inter Miami in front of you, and you've dealt with these 30 minutes playing into the wind, which so many teams struggle to do. A good first half from Atlanta United, putting the emphasis on Inter to change that momentum in the second half.
And one of the exciting things about this game is that these teams have that depth. Felipe Valencia, the second homegrown signing in Inter Miami history, sitting on the bench right now, the dangerous winger. He was the youngest goal scorer in USL League One history last year, breaking Alphonso Davies' record. And Javi Morales still has that card to play.
A member of the Body Armor Rising 11 coming into the tournament, working his way back from injury. Head coach Javi Morales managing the minutes of the young man.
Throw incoming for Inter Miami. To the dying minutes of this first half, we've got a great question here from Dina TV, who says, what do you all think about Solar SC? The only academy that passed in the knockout rounds, the only non-MLS academy that passed through Weston FC as well in this competition. Weston, a U17 champion at the MLS Next level. Solar, the local representative. Bobby, they went perfect in the group stage, and that is a huge part of what MLS Next is building. The network to develop and give opportunity and platforms to great young players has to be larger than MLS. This is a country of 300 million people, and there are great players in every corner of this country. Obed Vargas is playing out in Alaska, and you've got great players playing across here in Texas. Solar, they've been fun to watch. I watched them knock off TFC in the last game yesterday in the group stage, and this is not just about MLS academies. That's why MLS Next exists. MLS Next already larger than what the DA was that it took over, continuing to expand the footprint and give young players opportunities both to get to the pro, college, and just enjoy the game as well. Ball comes in, it bounces in the box. Kramaski trying to keep it alive. Now the battle here as Chiesa comes out wide to pick it up. Beautiful touch from Destin. Destin now on his right foot. He curls the shot and bounces it in. What a goal! Brian Destin, his second of the tournament. A stunning goal in stoppage time of this first half.
The emotion for this Inter Miami club. The under-15s there to celebrate with the elder statesman of the academy. It starts with the set piece. Again, the wind causing problems for both the defenders and attackers. But when it gets played back to the number 9, Brian Destin, he knew what he wanted to do. He picked up his head. He found that far corner. He put the whip. He used the wind. That's a number 9 right there. 1-0 Inter Miami.
Think about Brian Destin, one of the best goals we have seen in this competition, and you set it off the top, Bobby. Stars rising to the big moment. This team had the momentum. Could they take advantage before halftime? And Destin steps up.
Destin got his chance in the last group stage against the Roma, the Italian center backs, and he was the best player on the field. He said, head coach Javi Morales, you need to start me in this knockout round. I will reward you, and that's what we saw. Inter Miami, not the dominant team, but by the end of the half, they got on the score sheet. They got their goal with the win, heading into the next 30.
Well, that young man pushing through Miami ahead against their Southeast regional rivals, Atlanta United, in this knockout round game, but there's still all to play for coming up in this second half. 30 more minutes to play from the knockout stages here at the 2022 Generation Adidas Cup.
As players and coaches continue evolving towards a brighter future, the constant battle of reality versus expectation is one many involved in youth soccer constantly face. The reality being, developing a player to transcend and become a professional is a long road indeed.
A U12 player might not make our U13 team the following year. And so we made that very clear at the beginning, that this is the pyramid moves in this direction, and it gets harder and harder to get to the top. And the grand minority earn a professional contract, and the grand minority play on the first team.
Luchi Gonzalez, the academy director at FC Dallas, knows all too well the struggles within an academy structure to develop players. But the key to success for Luchi and FC Dallas isn't only about the on-field product. It always transcends more than just that.
We don't see our first team at the top. We see FC Dallas family at the top. They're trying to develop to be an FC Dallas family member for the rest of their life. So they whether they play in our stadium or not, or whether they play in Europe, or whether they play in our senior national team, or whether they play college, or whether they're going to be a doctor, or whether they're going to be a teacher, or whether they're going to be a coach themselves, they're always going to be welcome to our stadium as a fan and as a family member. And so that idea starts at the bottom. So it's important that as a director, I communicate the realities of the pathway, but at the same time create measurable goals for each player and each family, and ask the questions of why are they in the program? Well, I want to be a professional player. Okay. Why else?
The development is a long-term process. That for every individual player there is a plan, and different players mature at different times, and you just got to trust the process. With the club investing so much resources and so much time, energy in terms of each player, we truly have a belief that each one of them has a long-term chance.
They could get cut. They could get moved to a premier team. They could end up being on a national team. And then we got to balance that mentality and how to handle that responsibility of representing your country. They could be getting trainings with the pro team or not. They could be getting a college scholarship or not. They could be talking with agents or not. And then all those situations in the pathway, with each one being different in each age, we have to make sure that we're communicating very clearly with the parents. And as the player gets older, they're becoming more independent. So with the older age groups, it's really more clear communication with the player, because he's a young man at that point, and making sure that we set goals with them that they're responsible for, that the club is responsible for supporting, but that are measurable and that are realistic. And within that process, by the time they're 16, 17, 18, they see it. They see when maybe they're going to get offered a contract or not, or they're professional bound or college bound, but guess what? We will never Our attitude is that anybody can make it at any moment, and it's never too late. We will never tell a kid, you're not going to make it. Because I've learned in this business, never say never with these kids. There's late developers, psychologically, physically, mentally, technically, tactically. So we want to be realistic with the kids, but we don't take away their dream either. But at some point, we do guide them in a direction that's going to favor them to have options and to stay in a pathway.
As the path forward becomes more and more clear for players, what does the future hold? Will North America soon be at the forefront in producing world-class caliber talent?
We are at the beginning of the story in the US. I would say, if I compare with other countries, our country is a baby country. So it will happen. I cannot tell you when, but more and more we will produce very good kids and high-level players. Why? Because right now, when you are 6 and 7 years old, you can play soccer pretty often.
These kids are growing up, and now their dream is to be part of that first team of FC Dallas, of the LA Galaxy. So the fact that they can now see that there's an opportunity, that our clubs are giving these kids that are coming through the academy to play in the first team, it's only going to open up the future more and more.
The game is at the middle of everything we do. The game is at the middle of our business in MLS. The game is in the middle of our development. It has to revolve around soccer. So I think that's where we as a country need to continue to strive to get better and educate ourselves and be curious to learn concepts from all over the world, and not generalize this game. This game has a lot of little details and is very thorough, and it's important that we answer for these players in training, that we answer the questions of why, how, when, where in our training environment, so that our kids can understand references and be prepared as they get older to be a high-level player and a world-class player.
I'm excited that I feel like the next generation of coaches, the ones that MLS is heavily investing in, it's a younger generation. I think we're all hungry for knowledge. We're here to get better. And when we get better, our players are going to get better, right? When we get these competitions, our players are going to get better. They are exciting times, in this country, and I feel the potential to catch up to the rest of the world powers is there. The sooner the better, right?
us Bobby Warshaw and Kelly Glendenning here from Frisco, Texas. The 2022 Generation Adidas Cup, the Premier Youth Championship U17 knockout competition. And we've got a rivalry to open it all up. Inter Miami and their all black kits going left to right on your screens against Atlanta United. And they're all white kits going right to left on your monitors. A stunning stoppage time goal in the first half from Brian Destin, the lone strike, as we enter the second 30 minutes to decide who will move on to the next round into the quarterfinals. Bobby, these two teams that know each other really well. They both are loaded with talent. It was a fun first half.
It was, and it's building into this second half. I'm not sure we ever saw the beautiful game there in those opening 30 minutes. Both teams are understanding of that.
Atlanta being aggressive instantly offensively.
But we saw competitiveness. We saw grit. And now the pressure mounts for the second 30 minutes. A knockout game. You need to win to move on.
And these two teams, as I said, they know each other fairly well. And you see the physicality. A big second half coming up. One change at halftime for Atlanta United. Baines Smith coming off and Matthew Dejani coming on and immediately helping press for an opportunity. Second chance, rolls just wide. And Bobby, Atlanta maybe their best look of the game in these opening minutes.
And it comes off of the press, the wind at their back. They set their lines higher. They force Inter Miami to make a decision to play out of the back, to play second layer. And on the first account, they pick one off, a chance at goal, but a big save from Inter Miami's Kaminsky in goal.
Already a bright start to the second half. For more on the message from these two coaching staffs at halftime at Atlanta United shift, let's go down to the sideline. Kelly Glendenning.
Yeah, guys, right at half I was able to speak to Javier Morales, and I asked him what are the two things that he wants his team to focus on in the second half while they try and maintain this lead. And he said the first one is to be more patient with the ball, and secondly, he wants to see his guys be more aggressive with pressing high.
Thanks so much, Kelly. This Inter Miami team, it all shifted late, right? For Javier Morales and his staff, and you've talked about it as a learning experience for these young coaches. He probably had a message, and then they score a goal. And then you've got to shift what you're saying as we get ready for this corner kick opportunity, deep throw-in for Atlanta. A long throw. Kramaski puts it into the box, and it rolls in. The near post, and Atlanta United tie it up in the opening minutes of the second half. And the Atlanta U15's coming to celebrate with the U17s. But, Bobby, that's the turnaround that Atlanta wanted.
The best part of the competition, the celebrations, the full club coming together. And here's the throw-in, the flick-on, the tussle in the box, and the goal. Atlanta United getting the equalizer. It wasn't pretty. It counts all the same. And questions asked, David, from the Inter Miami bench, was that a push at the near post? It looked to me like a fair grievance. Two arms extended into the back, pushing the defender off balance. No chance to win it at that point. It goes into the goal mouth, and from there, the wind carries it in.
And what a moment. The substitute, Dejani, 2 minutes in to his appearance, gets the goal. A big tackle here, and the first yellow card of the game will be shown to Vial.
You can feel the temperature rising. Both teams have their under-15s around. The noise is building.
The wind is building.
The weather's getting warmer. Everything about this says it's going to be a special 25 minutes.
And Bobby, you've talked about it a lot this week. The point of this is for these players to learn on their own on the field how to deal with adversity, how to deal with the ups for Atlanta. Now, how do you handle the goal and the downs for Inter Miami?
To add color to the great halftime analysis was that at the start of Javi Morales' chat with his team, he looks at them, he smiles, he says, We got the goal. Breathe. And that was because they didn't get into their rhythm in the first half. They got the goal. It's a chance to pick up your head, to calm down. Now, it's a totally different breath. Atlanta United has raised the stakes. They have raised the pressure. So once again, Inter Miami needs to take a breath, but it's a different one. Instead of lowering their heart rate, can they rise it again and match what Atlanta United has brought?
And a big foul called right on the edge of the box. The slide tackle from Brick. And the foul goes against him. Excuse me, from Gonzalez, and the foul goes against him.
This is a different level than we've seen through the first 4 days. The knockout games come, the tension rises.
So shout out to everyone on YouTube watching along as well as on Twitch. Shout out to Aquanox92, who says in the past the GA Cup commentators would read the chat and comment back. That's what we're doing this year as well. We're doing it consistently. Keep sending us great questions, great comments, and we'll keep adding them to the broadcast. Dangerous free kick coming here.
David, from this spot, there's always the option to play the lofted ball into the 6, but also keep an eye on the PK spot. We often see misdirection from the players, and a player loop back around for the pass on the ground right around the PK spot. Right now, Atlanta United does not have anybody in that zone. They have 2 across the 6. So the option for the floated ball near the goal, or can Inter Miami misdirect, bring a player around for the pass on the ground to the penalty spot?
And they've got Joe Converse lurking on the top of the box if they do. Thomas standing over this one with his right foot and the left foot of Abadia Reda, excuse me. Inter Miami, their black kits. Opportunity to try and take the lead once again. It is Abadia Reda who puts it in, headed away, and it's past the goalkeeper and in. Brian Destin, his second of the game, and he gives Inter Miami the lead once again.
They end up with the ball into the 6. The chaos again, and who reacts first? But the man of the hour for Inter Miami, number 9, Brian Destin, in the right spot, in the right moment, the power header to put it by Jansen and put his team into the lead once again. Brian Destin, 2 goals, Inter Miami 2, Atlanta United 1.
And we promised you drama, we promised you energy, and we have had it from these two teams. As Bobby said, it has gone to another level from what we saw in the knockout rounds. What an incredible game. And Bobby, you see the wind playing a factor there, and it's all about who can react to the unknown quicker. An opportunity immediately for Atlanta to chip the goalkeeper, and it's just wide.
It's all happening end to end. Seconds after the kickoff, Atlanta United breaks behind. Once again, it's Brennan, who's been in the right spot so many times today. He picks up his head. A good choice trying to go over the goalkeeper. Just puts it to the side. But in the conversation of attackers, in the idea of finishing versus opportunities, we see Brennan once again getting the opportunity. Always a good sign that there are more to come.
We are here in Toyota Soccer Center in Frisco, Texas, on field for the Azteca of the youth game in North America. Thanks, Gianni Mirto. We appreciate that. We think you're an amazing viewer as well. What an incredible start to the second half. What an incredible start to the knockout rounds. We've got 4 more games coming up for you. 3 more games coming up for you today. Houston Dynamo and their loaded academy will take on Tigres in our next game. We've got Charlotte NYCFC and Manchester United facing off against the LA Galaxy to close things off. James Fraga asks, is there VAR in the later stage of the tournament? There will not be at this competition. So it will just be the referees on the field. And Bobby, the referees, a big part of this tournament. They are also working up the pathway to the pro ranks.
Let the record show that I motioned to have you, David Goss, be the sole video assistant referee. You and our monitors here. Got vetoed. Feels like a bad decision to me, but no video review throughout the tournament.
I would have to watch it on my green screen behind me, my meteorologist green screen, as I point to. We've got a storm coming up from this right corner of the box.
So many roles being played here.
And that's what the GA Cup is all about. It is our favorite week of the year. We have been treated some incredible soccer. Someone was asking in the chat about the U15s knockout games yesterday. We were here at the fields to watch those. TFC have really grown in this tournament. They had a huge win over Club America to move to the next round. An incredible battle between RSL and Austin FC's U15s. RSL with the 1-0 win, but we really saw Josh Wolf soccer out there for Austin, knocking the ball around, trying to create chances. So that was a fun one to watch. And the New York Red Bulls U15s as well, a big performance for them. But that's the game we're all looking for, I think. LAFC, TFC, two teams that want to play with the ball. They have clear identities. They want to break those zones of density.
You love to name a rivalry, David. Just give this one the obvious name.
The Bob Bradley Bowl, the Brad Bowl, the Bradleys,
the Bradderby?
Yeah, the Bowley. We failed on that note. We are all learning a little bit here. Fantastic dribble there from Perkovic. Tremashki looking for a teammate. Converse now steps forward. He will drop it back. Bobby, we have to say in this one, Wasabi, he was slated to start this game at right back. A late injury to Hall, and he has been admirable at center back so far. Perkovic pushes it wide. Chance to float this one into the far post. Knocked down by Thomas. And Jansen able to get on top of that one in goal.
Again, fantastic cross selection here. This time coming from Faith. He picks up his head, doesn't go for the whip ball, goes for the floated pass to the back post, allowing the weak side winger to run onto it. Chance created, but Jansen in a good spot to make the save.
So 30 minutes, halves, 7 subs available to these two teams in 3 moments. Atlanta United making the one change to bring on the goal scorer in Tijani at halftime. That did not count as one of their moments, so they will still have 3 moments that they can use. As Atlanta United starting to flow forward in those white kits. The wind now coming across the field a little bit more. Brennan tries to get on top of this one, gets to the end line, pulls it back, alive in the box, and somehow Comiskey gets his hands on it.
Brennan again. The man knows how to create chances. This time it's the combination. Play forward, flick, win the duel. Love this. Plays the ball across the goal. Another smart choice, but well defended. He's getting to that near post in the right spot, causing just enough of a deflection.
Perkovic unable to keep it in possession, and now Kiese will put it out for the throw-in as we have the second substitution coming for Atlanta United. So it looks like that will be it for Pavel Romero in this one, and coming on in his place, number 40, Micah Ham. Atlanta United not waiting to make these substitutions. Bobby, they've been aggressive tactically from the coaches off the bench.
Yeah, they want to be the first to make the adjustment, force Inter Miami to react. A throw-in from a similar spot that we saw that first goal.
So will it be the long throw once again from Gonzalez? It was his long throw at the near post that put it on the plate for Dejani to flick home for the opening goal just minutes ago. Gonzalez once again. Floating long throw, and it'll run right out.
Inter Miami here with another build-out opportunity on the goal kick. So far, we've seen Atlanta United press them immediately. On the first occasion, Inter Miami, with the turnover, giving Atlanta United the quick chance. Since then, we've seen them make one pass and play second layer to that space in front of the Atlanta United back four, which is what they go for here, the wind disrupting it. But look for second balls to play a crucial role in these last 15 minutes. Inter Miami won't want to take risks. They'll play second layer, they'll play depth if they can play through the wind, which means it'll come down to who gets numbers around these second balls, gets on it, and can play forward quickly.
Kamaski Still trying to, Kaminsky, sorry, still trying to gauge that wind as he plays out of the back in goal. As Pudu Simon says, the wind a huge factor affecting the wind in this one. Shout out to all of you in the chat. He also mentioned at the beginning, I love when Bobby analyzes games. It's a night at the Comedy Cellar. That's how funny he thinks you are.
I was trying to figure out if that was a good thing or a bad thing.
I got zero idea.
I will not be analyzing that one too closely.
Kromashki able to at least advance the ball a little for Miami to try and play in this Atlanta half. United against Inter Miami. It was a stoppage time, go-ahead goal in the end of the first half from Brian Destin. An equalizer 2 minutes into the second half for Atlanta United. And then Destin trying on the spot once again as he presses here and gets a touch to the ball. And then he gets the crowd going behind the goal. What a day right now for Destin.
Need to do in these final 15 minutes. Not just the goals, the energy, the aggressiveness, the personality. These last 15 minutes are not going to be beautiful for this Miami group. It will be about grinding and winning moments like this, winning these duels.
Miami comes back away with it. Dr. Layups asks if it's tied after 60 minutes. We will go straight to penalty kicks. Too many games in a short amount of time to be able to do extra time. So this game would go straight to penalties if it is tied after the 60 minutes of play.
And David, the challenge for Atlanta United to close this game is, can they keep their composure? Given the intensity of the game, as the clock winds down, they're going to get on the ball. They're going to get their chances. But can they keep their calm, even though their tournament lives are on the line? Connect passes, move forward, break the lines, all of the great things we've seen them do through the first 47 minutes. Can they keep doing that as the pressure builds toward the final whistle?
Destin in that 50-50 collision. Carlton comes away with it, but it still remains in Miami possession. Boatwright looking for the run of Perkovic. A miscommunication there between Gonzalez and Brick, and allowed Perkovic to come in and win the throw-in for his team. And Inter Miami U15s, who we've seen perform at a high level in this tournament, including Javier Morales' own son, Santiago Morales, who I swear walked into a Panenka chip in a penalty kick shootout like I've never seen. And when you watch a guy like Bradley Wright Phillips and Aleko Skandarian react to a penalty like that as they react to this, Perkovic to the end line. It's spilled in the box. Still alive for Inter Miami. Boatwright gets his feet on it. And now Perkovic once again. Gonzalez trying to battle it away. And what a play from Vial to win it back. Brennan now surrounded by black shirts, and he's able to draw the foul. This game being played at a high level right now. As you look at that filthy dribble from Perkovic.
See you, Perkovic. Where are we at on the sauce meter on that? 1 to 10. Where are we at on the sauce meter?
I'll give it a couple of chilies. Picante.
Okay. Love that. The confidence, the skill, the recognition of the space right there.
Alan Carlton will get us reset. Rotation now here in midfield to Romero. Brennan. He has it knocked away, but only to the feet of Carlton. Oh, line-breaking pass bouncing off the foot of VA. We approach the final 10 minutes here in this knockout game. The wind gusting through Field 4 at the Toyota Soccer Center just north of Dallas.
Sauce alert. Love that. Love that. What do we think out there? What's the sauce number on that one? Let us know. Everyone in this chat right now gets to set the sauce rules for the rest of GA Cup history. Whatever you determine is the methodology we will follow.
Brennan brings that one down. Brennan looking to get on that sauce list a little bit as well. We have seen some incredible goals, some incredible skills, some incredible moments so far in this tournament. These two teams putting up a net as Benjamin Kremashki draws the foul there. A young man that knows success here at the Toyota Soccer Center. He was voted MVP, Golden Ball winner in the MLS Next Cup last summer here in Texas as he helped lead Weston to the final and win the championship under Chris Nurse in their division. Kremashki then moving on over to Inter Miami's side to start this year. And that, Bobby, as we talked about in the first half, is part of this process. MLS Next, a giant pool for the best players to be challenged, to be taught, to be pushed. And some will pool into MLS academies and others won't. And will have successful careers as well. And forward now is Fafi. Out wide now. What does he have in his bag this time as Jurkovic drops it back to Fafi. Real and Brennan pressing. Boatwright goes down, and he and Brennan, they've been on top of each other quite a lot here in this second half. And the tension, the pressure starting to build. We got I-404, see Muda in the chat. He's given 3 flames, I think, for that dribble.
3 flames?
Or for the intensity of this game. Either way, it has been great. We are headed to a fantastic finale in this first of 4 knockout games. And we've got for you streaming on Twitch and on the MLS YouTube page. You working today, you're in school, you're hanging out, whatever it is, come join us for some high-level soccer. Brennan draws another foul on Boatwright. We said these teams played about a month and a half ago in league play. It was a 3-2 win for Inter Miami. They're expected to play in about a week as well, again in league play. So you can feel these players, they know each other. A little bit of tenacity there as that one goes straight up into the air. Atlanta United pressing forward. Putting the pressure on Miami. Stepping forward and picking that one up is Cobb. Cobb lays it out wide for Gonzalez. And Gonzalez on his first touch, trying to sneak one through.
I'm here.
This is a great one, Bobby. We've got Ibar and Fede in the chat who says that was a sriracha level with the Meg. Good hot sauce. One blasted long. Bobby, do you have a hot sauce sponsor that I should be aware of? Or am I free to go any way I want? Flicked over there from Real. Atlanta United preparing their 3rd substitution of this second half. It looks like they will be bringing on Italo Jenkins off the bench. Jenkins, a U.S. Youth International, had a goal against Celtic. He's got about 8 or so minutes to try and make a difference in this second half as we've got a long throw coming here. And we'll get a little bit more information. And it'll be a corner kick, it looks like, actually, in the end. So it'll be Romero over this one.
So again, Miami with the wind on this. Right now they've got Atlanta with the wind on this. We've seen how hectic it's been around that goal.
The ball rolling from the wind on the ground.
Right now they've got all of their players at the back post ready to attack square in the middle of the goal.
Romero service right on the goal. And Kaminsky takes it cleanly. As Atlanta United looking for the breakthrough. They're preparing a substitution. For more on that, let's go down to the sideline to Kelly Glendenning.
I spoke with one of Atlanta United's assistant coaches here on the sideline just before the substitution was made. He said they're going to switch to a 3-5-2 formation. So really in these final 5 minutes, they can just get the ball and go.
Thanks so much, Kelly. Atlanta, they're in that moment. They need to push, as Kelly said. And so Jenkins, that second forward now coming on.
Yeah, it makes sense. Get more attacking personnel onto the field. Ooh, a touch from Carlton. Get more attacking personnel onto the field. The challenge is, as they move numbers farther up, will they still have numbers around the ball, especially for the second balls? 3 center backs are more likely to win the first one, but they'll lose the advantage around that second ball net.
Boatwright flying forward. Who else but Brennan to close him down? Their battle's been incredible. Thomas now, he sneaks to a couple defenders, and Jansen with the save. And immediately Atlanta are onto the attack in the other direction. Mashke gonna pick up a teammate. And that young man, Brian Destin, 2 goals. Both sides of the halftime whistle. He's got his team up 2-1 right now against their rival. They all starting to lead the press in the other direction. So this will be the 3rd sub in the second moment for Atlanta United here when they make it. We'll give them the option to make one more. Now the substitution will be made. So it'll be Gonzalez, the left back, coming off. And Jenkins, the forward, coming on. He had the goal against Celtic in the group stage. We'll bring a whole new element to this one as Brennan now playing at left wing back. Breaks into the box. Brennan slides it across, put out for a corner.
Immediate dividends. The extra attacker on the field. The left back comes out. The right back comes to the right center back. And Brennan is now effectively the fullback on the team. We've seen how threatening he can be from the wing. This time does it from the new spot on the left side.
Corner kick coming now for Atlanta United. Curled in. The wing picks it up and takes it over the crossbar. Kevin is Bono. You are correct. This game will end at 60 minutes. If Atlanta United's able to equalize, we would head straight to penalty kicks to find out who moves to the next round. If not, it'll be Inter Miami to move on. Perkovic able to push that one forward for Destin. Destin now with numbers both sides. He plays it to the right. Perkovic keeps it in, pulls it back, and cleared away. Good recovery run there from Akinola.
The first touch that hasn't been dazzling from Destin. Too much weight on the pass. Good movement from Perkovic. Nice read from Brick as well. Sees the overlap coming, drops off the ball. Makes it hard for Perkovic on the delivery across.
Inter Miami right now looking for an opportunity to face off against the winner of Celtic or Columbus Crew in the quarterfinals. Boatwright to the end line. Puts the cross in. Destin with the touch. And his shot just over the near post. What a performance from Brian Destin. The goal in the first half in a moment of need. And you've talked about it a little bit. The stars rising to the big occasions.
We see it again here today. You wear the number 9. There are expectations on you. Your team needs you. And he delivered in every phase. The first goal, a beautiful curl shot from 20 yards. The second goal, a poacher's finish from 6 yards. And then the energy and the personality to set the tone for everything else they've done. Here we see it, chasing down again, waving off, saying he's got it.
Jenkins trying to get on to the end of this one. He keeps it in play. Somehow with the wind down the end. And then it does go out for a goal kick as we approach stoppage time here in this knockout game. Destin, a goal in the 31st and 37th minute. to give Inter Miami the lead twice after Djani scored in the 32nd minute to open the second half. Is that enough for Inter Miami to get their second straight win, the U17 level over Atlanta United? No matter what, Bobby, you got to come out of this one and say Inter Miami at the academy level, it's going in the right direction. If you are a fan, you have to be excited by this talent coming through.
Fantastic game all around. We had said that Inter Miami were one of the favorites coming into this knockout round, and they've lived up to it. But on the other side, Atlanta United have matched them in every phase. They have made them work for every inch. They've created their own opportunities. They've competed. The intensity has been real. An excellent 60 minutes from everyone involved.
A chance to push forward for Atlanta. Ball between the lines. Collision and a free kick coming. 20 yards from goal from the center of the field. Bobby, what do you do with this one?
It's the dilemma we've seen all week so far. When you have a direct free kick, can you find a way to play with the wind, or are you better off putting a ball into the box for the chaos? The way they're shaping this, David, putting the ball down, playing with the socks, everything feels like a direct hit.
So we've got Andrew Carlton standing over this one. We've got Vial nearby. But it looks like Pavel Romero, who drew the foul, is going to be the one to take this.
And it's a good distance with the wind at his back. It's not too close for it to sail. You'll have time to get it up and down.
Romero takes steps back. In stoppage time of this knockout game, Romero's shot just over the crossbar. Incredible opportunity for Atlanta United. It may, Bobby, be the last one of this game.
It's a good effort. It's close. It was always going to be hard with the wind gusting at your back. Couldn't quite get the top spin down into the corner.
Carlton heads this one forward. It sneaks through for Djani. Unable to find Jenkins. And now caught in possession is Brick. And Destin charging forward. We are in the final minute of a minimum of 3 minutes of stoppage time. I have to think some time gets added for that free kick. Murphy there in the corner, can't keep it in play for Inter Miami. And now Vial dragged back from behind, and we'll see a yellow card shown.
And a good foul by Converse. Miami were exposed. They had sent numbers forward. They had 4 behind the ball against 4 attacking them. Converse had to win that duel or take the foul. He takes the foul in the yellow card.
Ball played in, clipped on into the box, and knocked out. So an opportunity to move on to the quarterfinals for Inter Miami. Because of COVID, their first time ever at the Generation Adidas Cup at the U17 level. Inter Miami, a stunning victory behind that young man, Brian Destin. A golazo in stoppage time of the first half gave his team a lead. Atlanta United battled a goal in the opening minutes of the second half, tied it up. And then Destin, the man of the moment, the man of destiny, with the big goal in the second half to give his team the 2-1 victory. So, Inter Miami move on to the next round. They will face off against the winner of the Celtic and Columbus Crew game. We still got 3 more games coming up for you. As you take a look at that bracket on the bottom left side, we've got the Houston Dynamo against Tigres in our next game here at Field 4. For myself, David Goss, for my partner Bobby Warshot and Kelly Glendenning, what a day. And it starts off in incredible fashion. Inter Miami are on to the quarterfinals of the 2022 Generation Adidas Cup.